If there is no God, then tell me, why does your heart still whisper a prayer when you are breaking? Why do soldiers in the trenches still scream, "Oh God," when death looks them in the eyes? And one thing more, why does every human from the childhood cries for help to the mother who begs for mercy call upon something they cannot even see? Deep down, yeah? You already know. You are not searching for proof of God, but you are searching for permission to believe again. People say that religion is blind faith. But what if it's actually the opposite? And what if belief in God is not a leap in the dark, but finally seeing what's been in front of you all along? My name is Abdullah and I study Islamic law. But today, this is not about law. It is about truth. So let's talk reason, science, and soul and find out if God really exists or not. So let's start simple. Everything you see around you, your phone, your house, your body, they all came from something. Every effect has a cause. Like you can understand that a building needs a builder and a painting needs a painter. So when you understand this, and then when you look at the entire universe, you know about the galaxies, the gravity, the DNA, and the human emotion. So after all of that, do you really believe it all just popped out of nowhere? Really? So the Quran asks a question that no atheist has ever truly answered. And the question is, were they created by nothing, or were they themselves the creator? This is in Surah At-Tur. It's not even a statement, it's logic so sharp it cuts through centuries of debate. Let's talk design. If the earth was little closer to the sun, we would all burn. A little further, and we would freeze. So your heart beats 100,000 times a day without you commanding it. So you can think all about that. And in that, the Quran says, we will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this is truth. This is also in the Quran. So, is that you do not need to see God to see His fingerprints at all. Every breath you take, it's a reminder. It's a reminder that He is not missing, but actually we are. So let's, forget about logic for a second. Let's forget it. And let's talk about, your heart, right? So have you ever noticed just once or twice that when life hits you hard and your heart, it automatically turns upward. Even atheists whisper, please, someone help. So this is not religion, right? That's fitra. And fitra is that your natural design. And this is how you are designed. And you are not born wired to believe. But the world, and it teaches you to unlearn it, through pain, through pride and the through distractions. And the Quran says that the human being was created upon the fitra of belief in God. Hadith Sahih Muslim. So this belief is not natural, it's learned. People think science killed faith, but the deeper science looks, the more faith grows. So the Big Bang, the Quran mentioned the whole universe expanding 1400 years ago. And this is what Quran says. And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed we are its expander. DNA, it's not random. It's coded information. And information always comes from intelligence. And science explains how things works, and faith explains why they exist at all. Now let's talk about Christianity. Muslim and Christians both believe in the same creator, the God of Abraham. But Islam came to correct what was changed, to bring back the pure message of one God without partners. Jesus, peace be upon him, said, "The Father is greater than I." And the Quran confirms that, and Quran says, indeed, Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so worship him alone. Islam does not reject Jesus, it honors him, but it refuses to turn him into God. And this is what the main debate is. So maybe you have been through pain, heartbreaks, loss, and all of that, and you stopped believing because you thought God abandoned you at all. But what if that pain was him calling you back? I'm going to tell you something real now, that sometimes God breaks your plane, so your heart finally looks up instead of forward. Every test you faced was not random. It was a message in disguise. So finally, we move on to the conclusion that does God exist? So the answer, and it's pretty simple, that the universe whisper, yes. Your heart beats, yes. Your soul screams, yes. The real question, and it's not that does he exist? The real question is, when will you turn to him? So this was AR Fiqh, not just Islamic law, but the law of truth itself. So please subscribe and let's explore what faith really means. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.